Hi, I'm Daniel Gutierrez, and I'm back. Remember earlier we were talking about the iConnect, and the gentleman who put this together is Gregory Hoag, and he's here today to help us kind of understand a little bit more about the technology. I've explained a little bit about how it worked in my life and how I felt that it accelerated my life. What we want to talk a little bit about today, Gregory, is that you know that I teach that 99.999% is pure energy. I call that God's source universe. And 0.0001% is physical matter. And this is also kind of the crux of what you're trying to get people to understand, that I saw you invert the iceberg that we've all seen in some place or another, where you see an iceberg and underneath there's the rest of us. And you inverted that and made it show the bottom 10%, which is the 0.001%. Let's just talk about that and tell us how this works.
Oh, that's a lot in one sentence. Okay, well, let's talk about, the inversion of the iceberg. That was really fun because so often we focus totally on what we can see. And that's what science does today. Even inside our heads, those thoughts, they believe that we project and create this whole reality. And when you see that the top of the iceberg is only 10% of it is showing, and the other 90% is unseen, and when you invert it, it really hit me when I did that. It's like, oh my God, the majority is above me in the other dimensions, in the subtle dimensions that can't be seen. And it's very hard to believe that the little me on the bottom is creating all of that up above. And in truth, it's not. All of that is creating this. All of what we call soul, what we call the mental body, what we call the emotional body, all of that is supporting this physical projection of what you see and what we interact with. And so when we start to understand that, we then start putting our priorities into the majority of our being, or we need to really understand that's how we're going to change this body. Because you see, something that we get caught in is this causal relationship with this reality. Thinking that if I want to change what's going on here, I need to look at what's creating the problem out there and change it. Get rid of this or do that. But in reality, this that we exist in, this reality, is all a reflection, is all just the result of something that was started on a higher dimension. Maybe the dimension of emotions, where the emotion preceded the action, or the dimension of thought, where the thoughts precede, or spiritually, what we've set up to learn, what we've set up to understand. So, in short, the cause of all the things happening in this reality begins on another dimension. So we need to start working with those dimensions. And those are dimensions we can touch and feel and experience from this body, but we have to change our viewpoint. And that's where the 99% of what we don't see, and you see, that's the problem. We talk about it all being energy, but then we kind of let it sit there, like, okay, that's it, we're done. We've said it, we all understand it's not something we can see. It must be God, it must be universe, it must be, but then I go about doing my life. But if 99% of what I'm dealing with is not in this body and not seen, then I need to find a way to engage with the energy on that level.
And is that why you developed the iConnect?
That's exactly why I developed the iConnect, because you see there's so many things in the reality that we've created here that, and this is very dense stuff. You can, kick into it, it hurts your foot, you can trip over things, and it takes a lot to create change. It moves very slowly, it's thick stuff. And so there are things that we've created in this reality with the toxins and all the things with our emotions put a kink in that flow of energy from coming in, and all the things that go on with the EMFs, the electricity, the cell phones. All these things make it very difficult to be in tune with the higher parts of ourself. And this is something that is more than just a radio station receiver. It's something that literally clears the way by creating a coherent field around us. So when we are coherent, and not just in this body, but in our emotions, in what's going on mentally, what's going on as far as our psychology, the spiritual aspects, when they all connect, where there's a flow of energy from deep within us, where source is, where spirit really resides within us, that when there's that connection and coherence, the energy flows, and then things start to happen. That's when the intuition kicks in. That's when the ability to change, because we're not really just changing things to be different, but the transformation, because something inside is wanting to come through that part of us, that soul that has a mission, that is really clear, that is really focused. And we can hold that focus because all the things along the way, you know, the cell phones, the toxins, those things break the focus. They keep us from being able to connect to what's real. And in the end, it really keeps us from feeling the love that we are. And that's the essence of it. When you feel that love coming through, when you feel it in that way that it is so large that it's touching everything, you start to understand, I am okay because I am everything. And I need to treat you with so much love and respect because you're totally that connection with me, and it changes the way I interact with everything and everyone, and it makes it go just magically smooth.
And that's kind of the reason why I feel that my life lately has been really moving really quickly. It's not that it wasn't moving very quickly, it's just that I wasn't aware of it, and that I wasn't in the space in awareness and openness to create. Now, the reason I brought that up is because you teach that women move energy this way and men move energy this way. Talk a little bit about that, because that's what this is really doing. It's clearing the energy for us.
Well, this is a toroidal field. It has a hole in the bottom. It moves energy like a donut. And it has about 9 different systems inside that are all toroidal systems. And the reason that's important is because every aspect of our body, when people talk about chakras, those are like little vortexes going in, vortexes coming out. And that vortex is the center part of a toroid. And that's the way the planet moves energy. That's the way the human being, through all these vortexes, and then even like moving energy down through the crown and out through the feet, or up through the feet and out through the crown. That's 2 different ways. And what you were talking about was something I mentioned the other day, where men have a tendency to move energy up like this and out. Men are more in their heads because of that. They're more aggressive, more out there. And women move energy down more. They're more in touch with their hearts. They're more in touch with their feelings. And really, that's where the connection to Earth and Earth Mother and this movement up, Father Sky, where those 2 phrases come from. And it's because men seem to emulate and actually put out that kind of understanding, and women do the opposite. And that's why a woman's trying to talk to us and we're trying to think about what we're feeling, and she's saying, no, don't think, just feel. And it's like, well, hold on, it takes a bit to get into touch with those feelings for us being men. But I know tools like this have really helped me find my heart more and find my feelings more, and it makes it so much nicer to relate to people when
Greg,
you can do that.
You and I could do this for hours and hours and hours. For the audience, what are the benefits of having? Just give me a few of the benefits.
The benefits it's been phenomenal because you see at the basis of everything, as far as our health, our well-being, our happiness, our everything depends upon that flow of energy from source, which is within us. And so what's been going on when people have this, because that energy is increased, I have people that literally have come to me, and while they're talking to me, said, I couldn't sit in that meeting anymore because my back, I broke it this spring, and it was aching, it was hurting. And by having this around, my back has stopped hurting. I've had people with cancer that have held it for a little while, walked away, and come back and said, my pain went away, I realized. And pain so often is about blockage. And so it's not just physical pain, but it's emotional pain. When we're stuck in something, I've done a lot of studies where we found that in measuring people's biofield, their energy field, where there's a lot of breaks, a lot of holes, that after holding this even 5 minutes, it fills in and is solid because the energy is flowing. We've done studies where we've seen where people's internal organs are underactive. Say the liver's underactive, the adrenals are stressed, and in a matter of minutes, things start to move into a balanced state. So what happens are things like, I'll have stories where a man came up to me and said, I'm a prison guard and director. I work with prisoners. When I have this in my pocket, the prisoners treat me better. They act better. And they don't know why. It's just, it's like a dog is very sensitive to our feelings and our emotions, and they'll treat us accordingly. If we have fear, they'll react. And we do it as human beings, and we don't even realize we do it. So that's why the prison guard said what he said. And I had a mother who had come home from the hospital with a baby who was premature. And so what happened is they awoke this baby every hour to poke him with needles to keep him going and everything. So he didn't sleep well. She brought one of these home. Just having it on her body, her son started sleeping through the night for the first time. People have manifested things. They've said, I've been able to be true to who I am. I've seen people go home and look at their house and say, oh my God, I need to get rid of all this stuff. I've been hanging on to it for so long, but I feel different, and it's made it easy for me just to throw out the stuff I don't need. So intuition.
A lot of stuff. Wow.
All kinds of things. It's like when you came to my house the other day, and I said, we often see rainbows through this window. And then 10 minutes later,
2 rainbows.
We had 2 rainbows.
Not just one.
Covering the whole house. It's just like that. And what came first? The words, thinking of that? And did we manifest the rainbow? Or did we just be in the right place at the right time where we're just in that flow? And that's really it. Nothing causes anything else in this dimension. That's what I was saying earlier. But we can be so in tune that we just are in the right place at the right time all the time. And most importantly, we're feeling the love inside. We're feeling good about everything. And that certainly makes life go easier.
That's definitely worth it, right? Well, Greg, I really appreciate the taking the time to tell us a little bit. There's obviously so much more that we can learn about this, but I just want to reiterate what it's done for me, and that is that for me it's been about moving the energy through, but the amount of intense love that I feel for the earth, for the world, for people. I always loved people, but not to the degree the intensity that I love people today. And it's not because something on the outside, it's because I love myself more. And because I'm able to love myself more, I'm able to express that love and express that energy, and you feel it. And so 1.5 years, 2 years, I've had this in my pocket. And the only reason I'm here with you today, Greg, is to let my folks know that a lot of the students already have them. They're getting great results. And if you said this best, and in closing, I teach the software, the cognitive, subconscious thoughts and ideas that you need to change and shift your life. This is the hardware that really takes the energy and keeps it aligned even when you're not paying attention. And that's the magic here, is that you just need to put it on your person and experience it for yourself. It's really up to you. Thank you.